start with financial management, because you should know the basics of financial management, and then the functions of financial management, how you can manage your money as an individual or as part of a company or a firm. The ultimate objective of financial management, the objective of financial management is to maximize the wealth of the owners of the business, or the what we call profit of the owners of the business. Generally, when we talk of profit and wealth, there is a thin line of difference between profit and wealth. This profit adds in the wealth, but many times we see the concept of profit as the short-term concept. Profit is a short-term concept which we very often say it's a myopic concept. In the what we call in the lust of earning profit, we over exploit our resources, we compromise on the cost, so that we can maximize the profit in the short run. Maybe in 1 or 2 years our profit may grow, but in the long run we have to suffer. So for that purpose we have to focus on wealth maximization. Wealth is what? Wealth is, what do we understand by wealth? Wealth is created, maybe if you are investing more for initial few years you have to suffer losses. So, but in the long run you may be getting a lot of wealth. So wealth is a long-term concept, and which every firm should aspire. And you know, this concept comes from daily life. We should always target for long term. We should not have any short-term approach in our life. Don't have shortcuts. So I'm not saying profit is not important. Profit is also important, but we must target the long term. So I will give one very small case on this later on. First of all, I will give you the basics of financial management, where you can use your money in a better way. After my lecture, you will be more learned about how to use the money which you are earning. How to use the money which you are raising from different sources. You know, money is not grown in the trees. Money is not grown on the trees. Money we secure, whether it is coming from outside or you are using your own money, it is coming from, you know, very hard process, you know, very difficult process, we secure money. So it is very important to use that money, to employ that money in the best possible manner, whether you are an individual or you are a firm. So when we talk of an individual, like let's suppose I give my example. I am putting some of my money in the share market. You know, for last few days share market is, you know, it is sneezing like anything. It seems that it has caught, you know, cold. If you recall the definition, financial management is the process of raising of funds, investment of funds, and taking earnings decision. The earning, which is the fruit of doing business, in such a way that the owner's wealth can be minimized. Maximized. Can be maximized. So first function is financing, second one is investment, and third one is earnings means dividend. Earnings means dividend. So financing means the various sources of getting funds for short term as well as for long term. For short term requirement, we need funds for, you know, for example, to purchase raw materials, to pay off to your employees to whom you have hired, so you need to pay them, and other allied costs which you need to pay so that you can run your day-to-day normal operations of a business. We give a term to it. The short term requirement of funds, we give a term to it. We call it as working capital. We call it as working capital. So working capital is nothing but the capital required to run the routine operations of a business entity or a normal operation of a business entity. But on the other side, we also need long-term sources of funds. So that building could be, you know, it can be erected, it can be constructed. We need money, long-term funds, so that we can purchase furnitures, we can purchase machinery, so that, you know, capital expenditure can take place. We can create assets which we can use for long period of time. Okay, so long-term funds are required. So this is particularly, you know, we call it as financing, you know, financing decision. And, you know, to get funds for startups, you have all different kinds of scheme. Like one such scheme is Mudra Yojana, or you can go to this venture capitalist. If you have any idea go to float this idea. Maybe if it will be having some feasibility, commercial viability, many venture capitalists, even Ratan Tata has become venture capitalist, he can fund those ideas. So, all different kinds of instruments are there which you can use to, start your business so that your startup can click, it can start. Its success will depend on the nature of investment, but still. So, financing means short term and long term. So, short term is for, meeting day-to-day requirement, and long term means particularly to create assets, fixed assets for the business entity. Now, what are the sources from where we can get this short term and long term funds? For short term, we have money market. Money market is the market which deals in short term lending and borrowing of funds. Short term lending, and who are the participants of money market? Who are the core of money market? The commercial banks. The commercial banks like State Bank of India, just go downstairs, you will find one branch of the State Bank of India. That is money market. That is money market. You can go, you can submit your project proposal, you can demand money. If they think that your proposal is having worth, they will fund you. They will fund you. So this is what we call money market. So money market component is commercial bank. Core of the money market is commercial bank, and you must be knowing the number of commercial banks, private bank, public bank, foreign bank. So I'm not going into detail of that. Then coming down to long term sources. Now long term sources, we have capital market meant for that. In capital market, we have different instruments for getting funds. We can raise funds through shares. We can raise funds through bonds. Bonds are also like loan. But when we split it into some small portion, we, for the purpose of purchase of common people, we call it as a bond. So shares are also used. Now share is the owner's contribution in the business. Share is a unit of ownership. So it is owner's contribution in the business. What I am contributing. If I am launching a startup, then bank will not give 100% finance. It will demand at least 20%, 30%. You also invest. You also invest. Why? And that amount we call as margin money. So that margin money you should also come out, na? At least you should also take some risk. Why? All the risk should be taken by outsider. That is a bank. You should also take a risk. Okay? Stop it. Kyunki hota payment of the amount. If I have taken money, I have taken a loan from one bank, and if I am not able to repay the loan, then how it is possible that I will repay the loan of other banks? So more risk is involved. More risk means the non-payment of the interest. And no financial institution in this world wants that their money is stuck. So that's why they ensure that you must possess some property, you must invest some of your own money. So investing your own money in the business is called as capital. It is also called as margin money. It is also called as margin money. Margin money in terms of bank. If you approach a bank, the manager will ask you what is the margin money. It means how much you are going to invest. So it may be 20%, 30%. If you are saying 80%, then the bank will with a good clap, with a huge round of applause, it will give you 20% loan. Because 80% you have put your investment in your own money in the business. So that is why I say the proper ratio between the capital versus the loan should be somewhere around 3:2. Capital means your own. So 1:3. 1:3 to 1:5. This is the range which gives you maximum return. Maximum return means to the owner. Because when we take a loan, loan is having a very beautiful characteristics. That beautiful characteristics is that the interest which we pay on the loan, it is tax deductible. First we pay the interest and then we pay the tax on the reduced amount. So our tax liability gets decreased. If we pay interest on the bank loan, our tax liability goes down. So it means if we want to decrease our tax liability, we should take loan. But on other side, if we are taking if we are having the lust of reducing down the tax liability, we can go on taking more and more loan. So then what will happen? That risk of closure of my business will also increase. We call that kind of risk as bankruptcy risk. Bankruptcy risk. So that will also risk. Insolvency we call. Insolvency we call it as दिवालिया हो जाना, means I don't have anything. So अगर मेरे पास कुछ है नहीं तो मैं रिटर्न कहाँ से करूँगा लोन? तो ये चीज है. तो the best range is 1:3 to 1:5. Okay. So this is the financing decision. Whenever you start a business, you must have at least some amount, 10%, 20% of your own to invest in the business. Remain we call. Insolvency we call it as दिवालिया हो जाना, means I don't have anything. So अगर मेरे पास कुछ है नहीं तो मैं रिटर्न कहाँ से करूँगा लोन? तो ये चीज है. तो the best range is 1:3 to 1:5. Okay. So this is the financing decision. Whenever you start a business, you must have at least some amount, 10%, 20% of your own to invest in the business. Remaining for that you can take advantage of different government schemes which are having, and then you can start business, because there is a logic for this also, because you get the highest benefit when you are having this thing. Okay. And this is also being explained by one very important concept in physics. The concept of leverage. Have you heard about leverage? Lever, like those who will be having background of villages, they must have watched. We used to pull the bucket outside with help of a pulley and a lever, and we used to just tighten the rope, and the bucket comes out easily. So this is the concept of lever. Once Archimedes said that if I am given proper base fulcrum rod, I can even lift the earth. So lever means it's a machine, it's a kind of mechanism through which with a small effort we can do big jobs. We can get the things where more resources are required with a small effort. So we call it as leverage. So the same leverage concept is applied here in financial management, in financing decision, that if we employ loan component in our financing, the structure of financing is called as capital structure. Capital structure means from different sources we are getting funds, like our own source, from borrowed source, and so on and so forth. So we call it as capital structure. So in capital structure we must incorporate the loan component. Loan means debt. Debt, the spelling of debt is D-E-T. Okay? B is silent. B is silent. So debt component we must include, because that is the component which creates leverage, and that leverage we call as financial leverage. Can you please come down with me? See here carefully. Now here there is a machine attached with this, so it is closing down on its own. But let's suppose this machine is not here. If I have to employ my end result which I want is to close this door, I can exert pressure at two places. One place is this one or this one. If I am exerting pressure on this side, I have to exert many times more the pressure on my finger, and then I am getting the result. But if I am putting my finger here, very easily this door is closed. So this means that I am getting the same thing, that this door is closed, by putting lesser investment, by putting lesser effort, means by employing lesser resource. So this is the concept of financial leverage, that if I want to earn more profit, employ the debt component, because this will magnify the return to shareholder, to the owners of the business. If you don't employ, then what will happen? It means you are exerting more pressure to get the same return. So if what will happen? Two scenarios I am putting in front of you. 100 rupee of investment is required by left hand, 100 rupees is required by right hand. Now 100 rupee by left hand, 80 rupees loan component, 20 rupees mine. In case of right hand, 100 rupees mine. But both are earning same. So it means right hand is total full. 5 times more capital is employed for same return. So why not employ only 20% of your money? Let's use remaining 80% in 4 different activities. It means you can magnify your return 4 times. So that is the importance of outsiders' contribution in the business. That debt component in the business. That's why we take a loan. There is a scientific reason for that. financial reason for that. That scientific reason I have tried to explain you. That scientific reason I have tried to explain you. Okay. So this is what we call financial leverage. Yes, you can